Today is the 26th day of the Omer, which is 3 weeks and 5 days. And as we're moving closer to Shavuot, the midah of today, the quality of the day, is Hod shebanetzach. Splendor, which is within eternity or within endurance. So the whole week has to do with eternity, with endurance, with persistence, with continuation, with the ability to stay on track. And today's Hod, which is splendor, or in a certain aspect yielding, is the realization that the endurance and the strength that we have actually comes from Hashem, comes from the neshama that Hashem gave us. So there's a certain amount of humility involved in there. Endurance and persistence is very important, but sometimes it could be destructive. The same way that an oak, if a strong wind comes, it can uproot it. But a reed, like a bamboo, can fold in the wind, and it will endure. The same way also with that steadfast endurance and eternal aspect that a person should have in being successful in projects, you have to have also that aspect of humility involved with it, realizing that whatever ability you have is not yours, in a sense that we were not the person that created it. It was Hashem that gave you the neshama with those capacities to reach very, very high levels and to be able to endure. So this is the Hod. The Hod also is connected to Aaron HaKohen. And Aaron had that aspect of, he loved peace, he pursued peace, he loved people, he had the kind of humility that would be necessary for those qualities. And that's what we're thinking about today on this 26th day of the Omer, that aspect of humility and of splendor within the endurance, within the ability to persist and to be continuously on track. That's what Netzach is. But again, with a certain measure of humility, realizing that all the capacities that we have come from Hashem. This was from certain aspects that have to do with the Omer. Maybe just mentioned a couple of things that we learned today in the Musar of Chok Israel. And the Musar of Chok Israel covers some very interesting ideas, but one of them I'd like to focus on. It says, Shalosh, a person who has these three qualities is a student or a disciple of Avraham Avinu. Ayin Tova, a good eye. What is a good eye? Is a person who's happy for the success of others. Veruach Nemucha, and an unpretentious spirit, somebody who's not conceited, who's not haughty, somebody who has humility. Venefesh Shefala, and a humble soul. And what is here Nefesh Shefala means, the Musa explains, it means a person who doesn't follow material desires even in permissible things. In other words, you could eat kosher food 100%, but if you follow your desire and you urge to overeat, then you've eaten kosher food, but you've been sort of like taking it to the step of being controlled by your material desires, by your physical desires, and that's something that a person should try to control, should try to have the humility and the aspect of, like it says here, to break these physical desires, and the more you're able to control those, the more you're able to come closer to Hashem. So these three aspects, being happy for the success of others, being humble, and he calls it in the language of the Musa, the shattering of material desires. Could be the desire to own more material things, the desire to have more physical pleasures. All these things, the more we follow these cravings and these desires, and the more we sort of like go the physical route and we stay away from the spiritual, the more there's a kind of a disconnect. And the more a person sort of like is able to have the control not to do these things that are serving for his personal, physical, material desires, the more he can come closer to Hashem. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.